Hello and welcome back for a new recording of the Workplace Ninja Summit. My name is Frans Oudendorp, and together with
I'm Harjit Dhaliwal. Nice to see you
and
guys.
he's back, and it's not the first time that we record, and we have a very special guest. Second time, Alex.
Alex.
Hi there. My name is Alex Verboon. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're from Switzerland, hometown of the Workplace Ninja Summit uh, in September this year. It's in Baden, and Alex, that's your hometown, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, not technically, not precisely, but I live close enough to call it my hometown.
That's why
Uh,
he influenced the conference to be in Baden.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. He can go home every day.
No, I won't. Actually, I will even if I only have 15 minutes from home, I will stay at the hotel and enjoy a week with the community and the people and friends. And
Yep.
as part of the organizational committee, they want me to be early there anyway, so I stay as close to the venue as possible for the whole week.
Exactly.
And to start this off, it's in Baden. In a few seconds, we will mentioning some travel as well. What makes Baden the ideal
I
city? Baden, the ideal city to host our Workplace Ninja Summit.
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, it's very central. First of all, because like almost half of the attendees are coming historically from Switzerland. So in Baden, you're close from Basel, Zurich, Lucerne, etc. But also from all of our community friends that come from abroad. I mean, we're like only 50 minutes away from the Zurich airport. It's very central. Another topic, of course, because we always have to deal with this rumor of like Switzerland is so expensive, and of course, if you go to a main tourist city like Lucerne, that of course just knows tourists are coming anyway. Prices are high. And I would say in Baden, prices are quite moderate, which definitely also
Mhm.
helps our attendees on their budget. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing I like about Baden is that it's really close to Zurich compared to Lucerne, right? I think it's like what, a 25-minute train
Yeah.
ride.
Yeah. 15
Simple
minutes if you take the fast
15
train. Yeah. Yeah.
exactly, so close. And so people can come over, the night before, maybe stay in Zurich and then hop over the next day or whatever to
Yeah.
Baden. um,
Key point of view, I think Baden is super cool because Baden isn't huge, right? I mean,
yeah.
I once brought my niece from the Netherlands, and I said we go to the city, and after 10 minutes we walked through the city, and I said this is the end. Nevertheless, I mean, we have over 50 bars and restaurants all around, and everything is in walking distance. And I think
Yeah.
why are we doing this Workplace Ninja Summit, right? Okay, great presentations, learn, share, but
Hmm.
it's also about the community, right? Interact with each other. And I felt last time that because Baden is so small, chances are high that if you even go in this restaurant or bar, even after the sessions, you always will bump into some ninjas
Yeah.
everywhere. So I think that's also a great thing that you don't get lost in the city. You're probably never going to be alone, except if you lock yourself into the hotel room.
Yeah. 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 For sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah. Let me put it a bit on screen. I've taken a picture of the train ride from Zurich to Baden. Actually, it's 34 minutes if you take the fast train directly. So you
Hmm.
have no takeover from another train. So take that one is riding every hour, and you can take that one directly.
Yeah.
Somewhat
In fact, there
similar
are two
to
fast trains. So at the hour from Baden to Zurich, it's always 8 past and 38. And there's even 4 trains during the main hours, which is a little bit the slower train. So that stops everywhere, like 7
Right.
stops. Nevertheless, within 15 to 25 minutes, you are in Zurich, or in, Basel will take you probably 40 minutes. If you like, after the conference, to go further, we had quite some people who said, well, if I'm here anyway, especially our friends from farther abroad, Australia, Canada, South America, they flew in, and of course they extended their vacation. I think you did the same, right, Harjit? When you flew in from US last time, I think you
Yeah.
also spent some time in Switzerland, or maybe even in Europe.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to go to Milano, Italy, takes you like, I don't know, like 5-6 hours by train
Yeah.
only. If you want to go
It's
to
super
Munich,
easy. Yeah.
yeah, Munich,
I
it's like 4 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, when we did Baden, what was it, 2 years ago? I actually brought my family, my entire family. But what we did is actually we came a few days early, and we positioned ourselves in Bern, right? We got an
Yeah.
Airbnb there and stuff like that, because it was
Yeah.
easy to get to everywhere. It was easy to get to Lucerne and
Yeah.
you name it, right? And
Yeah.
then from there, they stayed there, and I came over to Baden and then did the conference. And then they
Mhm.
joined me, a day before, at the end in Zurich. We enjoyed Zurich and then went home. So it was
Yeah.
a fun trip. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
So quickly, Alex, because you're from there, give us a quick overview of history, a a 1 minute history about Baden. Like, I see,
Yeah.
like, there's the rivers, and I think there's like I know you explained it before, but go ahead and do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. So yeah, for what is Baden famous? Well, first of all, the name Baden, right? In the early 1900s, it was very famous as a recreation resort, because we have this water
Mm,
that comes out of the ground. So the more wealthy people in Europe would go there and recreate. There's a lot of hotels. Now, over the years, when I came to Switzerland, I was born in the Netherlands, but when I came to Switzerland at the age of 14 or 13, that area was quite run down, so hotels were closed. But actually, in the last 10 years, they've all renovated, so we had a little renaissance. Now, that's on the tourist part. Business-wise, I mean, Baden is the home of BBC, and not the telecommunications and broadcasting company, but called Brown Boveri and C, which later became ABB, which maybe more people know. So ASEA Brown Boveri, which merged in 1989 with a Swedish company and a Swiss company. That's why they always mix up the Americans, Switzerland and Sweden. Joke aside. And yeah, Baden, ABB has always been a very large employer. Now, of course, over the years, ABB is a massive company. They did some buyouts,
mhm.
mergers with GE, Bombardier, some French companies, etc. But still, it's known to, in the city itself, it's not huge. There's like, I believe nowadays, like 16,000 inhabitants only. But during the day, it's, there's a lot of schools, education, and companies. And we have 2 or 3 big companies. So during the day, there's lots of more people in the city. I believe it's somewhere like still small, maybe compared to the US and larger cities. But consider like double the people
Yeah.
during the day that come into the city. Also, if you live like myself in a small village, if you go out with friends, if you go to restaurants, first up before you end up in Baden and Bern and Basel, you will go to Baden. That's where people meet and
Yeah.
greet, and where you can go
Yeah.
partying and do that sort of things. Yeah.
What about the convention center? What's the history on that?
Yeah, so actually, as of course, like in many cities, maybe a bad comparison, but like the motor industry, right? Okay, in the early 1900s until, let's say, even when I did my apprenticeship, you had a lot of blue collar workers, still there. Now, of course,
Mhm.
things got outsourced, offshore, production reduced or relocated somewhere. And what they actually did was super cool, at least. Well, it was not cool that they reduced the workforce, but they have started to think, and this is really thanks to those companies and the city, that they thought, okay, what are we going to do with all that empty space? So, for example, the building that you see here, I mean, imagine, they were creating gas turbine blades there, yeah, for a century, and that then was turned into a music recreation hall, right? In fact, I've played with my band in the early 90s. I used to play drums in a grunge band. I've had my first concerts in there. And then, of course, they closed that down because they wanted to build a hotel. That is where you are now sleeping at the convention. And also the inside of all those halls. I mean, for those that are visiting our event, they will notice that there are still structures from the old days where they have cranes inside because they had to lift, those heavy steel blades and machinery that they were producing in that area. So many of the buildings, except the office buildings, have been repurposed for startup companies, or we
Mhm.
have a cinema in there, or
Yeah.
obviously now also an event hall to run
Yeah.
the Workplace Ninja event. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanna, make sure let the audience know that the picture that you saw is kind of deceiving because it's actually a pretty big building. It's
Yeah.
actually pretty big inside because you got the hotel that's connected to the convention center, and
Yeah.
it's really, really huge. So this photo here doesn't do justice to what it
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
is.
and I can tell you, last week Mirko and Shady, as we call our lovely Daniel, we were doing a pre-visit. Of course, the work already starts now, and I can tell you, at least for the speakers, if you care about that, this time they have done a major upgrade on all the electronics. So we will have super ultra high
Nice.
density, wide, big screens. So everybody in the audience, even myself with bad sight, will have no problem seeing what our presenters are showing on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of the fun things about staying at that hotel was that the window in my room actually looked out into the expo hall.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
had to be
Yeah.
careful.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was fun. Yeah.
And I have a few pictures, Alex, of Baden.
Yeah.
Maybe you can explain what we
Yeah.
see and what interesting things we have in Baden.
Yeah, so this picture is basically underneath our bridge. Now, the bridge itself is not, super special. However, it's notable that this was actually the first bridge that was related to the first train that was crossing between Zurich and Baden. So there's also a history with Baden, and they call it the Spanish Brötlibahn in Swiss German, where basically the first train was operating between those two cities. Now, as you can see here, lots of people here. So when it's nice weather, people gather, for example, under the bridge here, where you can have a few beers or cokes and sandwiches, and grill your own bratwurst. So that's what this place is. Yeah. Yeah,
Next one.
this is from on the bridge. So here you see an old wooden bridge that is
Yeah.
very old. Um, and that's basically when you look down to the city. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Last one, also bridge.
Yeah, again, bridge, and this is actually the part I mentioned before, where they renovated all the hotels, and also a beautiful place. It's actually attached to Baden. It's already called Annex Baden, but yeah, also super lovely place. Lots of little terraces, cafes, bars. So hopefully the weather will be good at the mid end September. Yeah.
And behind the city, we see some other hills, or is there outside Baden also something to visit?
To be honest, I'm not really a big hiker, but yeah, you can hike. We even have very close to Baden. You can actually hike and even get to a level where it's considered already alpine hiking. So if you're not afraid of height, you can from Baden. Within 1 hour, you can be on dangerous terrain, and then you could, walk
Yeah.
over the hill there. Yeah.
Yeah, Frans, the only hiking we are gonna do is to Alex's place for the party that he's gonna have for us, right?
Mm.
Yeah, probably yes. But
Yeah.
let's see. I'm
Well,
trying to get another thing on the screen. Give me 1 second,
Yeah.
because I want to point out the hotels. Present. Uh,
so speaking of hotels, I know there are plenty of hotels in
Yeah.
Baden, but because it's so close to Zurich, I know when we had Ninja in Baden, there were some people that could not get rooms, maybe last minute bookings and things like that. But they ended up actually staying in Zurich and they would just take the train over. So it wasn't that inconvenient. It was just like matter of like trying to go to work, right? As long
Yeah.
as it takes, so there are always options.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, I would of course recommend if you can, and I know many people have done already.
Yeah.
Book your room in Baden. Also on the event page, you find a link. But
Hmm.
as I mentioned earlier, we have no agreement with those hotels. They were pre-informed. We have made a list of hotels we recommend, but otherwise double check the prices on booking whatsoever.
Hmm.
In Baden, as mentioned, we have a couple of hotels. I would also say for various budgets. We also have an Ibis, which is technically not in Baden, but in Neuenhof, which is like 5 minutes bus ride. Everyone who is taking a hotel around Baden will get bus tickets for free.
Yeah.
If you end up in Zurich, obviously you have to pay for your train ticket
Right.
yourself. Yeah.
Right.
yeah, and
Those,
you can.
so I
One
want to
thing.
mention. Okay, go ahead.
One thing, if you go to summit.wpninjas.global, select travel, you can find everything
Yeah.
on our website.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So one thing I want to let people know that who has not been to Switzerland before, it is very common. I think it's probably a government service or something. But when you stay in a hotel, whether it's Lucerne or Bern or Zurich, they will give you a pass for public transportation.
Yeah.
So this is a very, very convenient thing. Like people think like, oh, I have to buy a bus pass or I have to buy a metro pass and things like that. No, actually the hotel will give you based on the number of days you're going to stay there. So
Yeah.
you just have to take that piece of paper or whatever they give you, show it to the bus driver or
Yeah.
yeah, very,
Exactly.
very convenient.
Yeah.
That were hotels, travel, buses, planes, trains, hotels, Baden. Any other thing to mention, Alex? What did we miss? Probably we
I
covered everything.
Yeah. No, I think that's it. I mean, we really look forward to seeing you. We're already in full preparation, as you guys know.
Yeah.
And it's
Probably,
basically, yeah,
if this video is coming online,
yeah,
there are no tickets anymore. So sorry for
yeah,
that, but
yeah,
have a look at our website on that.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's sold
yeah,
out. That's great.
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, so Baden is a perfect place, close, small. It's not like a big mega city, so
Cozy.
it's
Yeah,
cozy,
yeah,
beautiful, lots of rivers, bridges. You got all your food options. You got your restaurants, your bars,
yeah.
your fast
Italian,
food,
Spanish,
you name it.
Mexican, Chinese,
Yeah,
Thai, Mongolese. Whatever taste
yeah,
you have, you definitely find something to eat there. Yeah,
yeah. And it's a great event, so
yeah,
you're gonna have a
nice.
good time.
yeah,
Thank you,
yeah.
Alex, for joining us,
Yeah.
and
See you
I,
soon.
we
All
will
right.
continue with the sponsor sessions, Harjit. Thanks.
Yes. Thank
Okay.
you.
Bye,
Cheers.
guys.
Next
Bye
time.
bye.